All right, there we go. What's up, YouTube? Today is Halloween, so yeah, should be a fun day here to close everything out. We have a little bit of red to start the day off, of course. Nasdaq is up 290 points, which is really because of the Apple move. They haven't gone too far from the Apple pop last night, which was about about 3-4 o'clock. So we'll see how they want to deal with this the rest of the way. Still coming on down, Nasdaq. Dun, 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 dun. Apologize if today is boring. I'm available for the full stream. The price action is usually is. Well, I don't know how boring today will be. There's a couple of different theses out here. You know, of course, you've got the three options. You got blast, you got dump, or you have pin. So I'm not really sure what they intend on doing today. I would expect a little bit of retracement to take profit and smoke the call holders, but really, who knows? It could be one way or the other. At the moment, we have a ton amount of exposure at 6,900 SPX, which is 32 points higher. Nasdaq is already kind of back and forth here. Trading has made me a very cynical person. You know, it did me too. Years ago, though, I had to kind of go through some sit downs with the missus because she says like this is turning you into Mr. Negative Nancy. So I had to kind of become a little bit more positive because trading will do that to you. All right, still coming off here, Nasdaq. We have liquidity to 69.40. We have Nasdaq. 26,000 is the main liquidity, which seems pretty aggressive. Hey there, Mr. Grumpy Goose. I love it. I love it. Who can identify the movie that the title of the stream comes from? Used to be one of my daughter's favorite movies. She hasn't watched it in many years. Good for both of you. The hard conversation would happen over miscellaneous ships. Yeah. Yeah. The missus is not afraid to say what's on her mind, so she's great at calling my BS. That's why we're together. When you have a strong personality, you have to have a counterpart that also has a strong personality to counter the BS. There you go. Trippy Mike's got it. Love it. 26,150. Still have red candles. We have 149 million in puts. We have 149 million sold calls and 53 million in puts. All right, still coming off 147. It actually helped my family laugh. I adore my wife and kids now because they're genuine, unlike the real world. Heck yeah, man. I love it. All right, NASDAQ and ES are both bottom wicking after a little bit of an open here. Gold is 4032. They're kind of sliding off after a beautiful high volume 3C top wick at 4048. I saw some of y'all talking about that. VIX is 1645 and rocket ships. And we're just going to kind of sit pretty here and see what's going to happen. What's up, Forrest? How you doing? What's up, Redek? Yeah, my hip hurts. That's how I'm doing. The cold weather makes my hip hurt. 160 NASDAQ. Still looking for the high volume stuff. Yesterday was a fantastic high volume 3C bounce play in the morning, just after the 9:45 time frame on NASDAQ. So I don't know what the market's going to hold today, but I do know one thing is I'm going to wait for those 3C moves. They've been working very well. A couple of gold 3C plays and then a NASDAQ 3C play this week. Good stuff. What's going around the Twitter sphere this morning? Of course, most people are in disbelief that the market continues to rally. That's nothing new. But a couple of people posted some unrealized losses for the banks that they're beginning to accumulate, which is nothing new. It's been going on now for about a year. Is that the unrealized losses from the overall banking sector continues to pile up, and then of course now it's reaching like massive quantities, which is nothing new. little bit of bounce so far. Good morning, Jonathan. How you doing? We have 230 million of puts being sold and 127 million of calls being sold. So it's an option seller's day so far. Surprise, surprise. Is Captain Condor back? I do not see him. I see a good amount of exposure at 6,900, but it appears he is still off the books this morning. We will see here. We have NASDAQ chilling here at 160, 165 or so. 26, 150 will be liquidity to the downside. I would love a 3C long indication if we're going to get it, but we'll see. A couple of small top wicks here. If they fail this, of course, we'll test the 140. If they hold it and take out 170, 171, we'll play high of the day on NASDAQ. Gold here is still slipping lower to 4023. Nice. Who is Captain Condor? Every trading Discord I've ever been in talks about him, and I've seen his positioning. It's not any one individual. Oh, I guess it could be an individual person. It's just someone every now and then, every couple of weeks, pops up, or a large institution, somebody with a ton of money, puts on a very large iron condor position on the SPX. Usually it's centered anywhere between 20, 30, 40 points above and the same downside, usually in the terms of a couple $100 million. And it just straddles the price action of the market. Here's 160 dropping over a little bit, just a wee bit. Just a wee bit here. And we're going to see how far this baby's going to go. Can you post the trading view link? Did I not do that? I apologize. There you go. 150, 149, there's a new low test. Oh man, 83 million of puts, 172, very slow morning so far. Thinking SPY 690 today. Oh, a little 6-point jump. I'm not going to call you crazy because the second I call you crazy, it's going to happen. Have you heard of this? I read something this morning saying that Frank Dodd Act account puts Citizens on the hook for the next bailout when the citizens get to take our money. I haven't heard that, but who knows, man? Every time, there's so much crazy stuff out there. Who knows what's true and what's not, and what's truly the agenda? All I know is that this market's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Day 3 of the TPT account. Let's have a good one. I still drop it over here. No high volume bounce, no high volume 3C indication yet, so we still look to shift lower. Captain Condor is a guy named David Chow. Interesting. We got a little volume coming in right here. A little volume. It's 940. Let's see what we got. 26, 139, 140, 135, still dropping. We got gold is still coming off. We have oil rocketing. We have ES and NASDAQ both coming down. We have put buying, call selling right here. RTY is getting wrecked. My VIX is climbing to 1660 again. Can't shake the 1617 level. They do not want to get away from the 1617 level. ES is not bottom wicking. ES is filling lower. NASDAQ is bottom wicking. And I'm still watching calls being sold and puts being purchased here on the short-term 0 DTE. So I'm definitely going to wait as long as I can here for a strong indication to take a position. Just be safe. Remember, today's Friday. Of course, it's Halloween. But more importantly, I never want to enter the weekend off of a poorly executed trade. A loss, whatever. One thing, it happens. But a poorly executed trade is not something I want to go into the weekend. So whether I lose or win, I want to make sure I put on something high quality that's within the bounds of my system, so I'm not kicking myself all weekend long. So I'm going to chill, like I always do, and I'm going to wait for a beautiful high volume 3C long. Here's another bottom wick right into 133 on NASDAQ. ES is still drilling. NASDAQ is not. Well, as NASDAQ is trying to. NASDAQ is more supportive than the S&P here. S&P is flowing lower. NASDAQ is trying to get something going. If I'm being completely honest with you, I would love to see them undo every single cent of the overnight move simply to get some volatility, all the way down into 25.8. So far, I mean, they're trying to do it. It would be beautiful. Internals aren't great. I agree. The internals are not great this morning. At best, we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're 60% red on the S&P. Heck, even tech isn't doing well. Most of tech is red. The only ones that are green. Wait, Apple blue red? Oh, Apple gave it all back. Apple gave it all back. Give it to me. Interesting. Muy interesante. Amazon gave back just a very small amount, so they're still holding. They're up 11.8. Nvidia's up green. Apple gave it all back. NASDAQ is getting wrecked all the way down. They're smoking those who chase the calls, baby. Give it to me. They want people to be euphorically bullish because that's where you get volatility. Amazon killed my game since they shut down AGS, so Amazon can dump to make me happy. Yeah, it was a bad apple. All right, the 1 minute has a little bit of volume flow on the 940 candle, but still very light. So I'm not seeing a supportive market yet, in terms of a good bounce. We are 2 minutes away from my trading time. Gold is still sliding lower nicely. They're about to take out their prior pivot. They don't have a 3C volume bounce yet. If anybody sees any high volume on gold, please let me know. NASDAQ just top wicked again and is sliding even lower. No bounce play until you get the high volume 3C bounce with a higher high. There's some volume coming out on this candle, but do you have a second or third C? If you don't, slide. Ooh, look at that candle. There's 100, taking it out, getting wrecked. The 4 hour on the NASDAQ looks dumpy. It does. It does. Still dropping. I'm not going to call a bounce until I see what I need to see. Until then, you have to understand they love punishing those who chase the long side on these events. There's a high volume bounce. Are they going to do it or not? They need the higher high third C to do it. A higher high third C to do it. Big liquidity, 1,000 lots at 26,100. So the higher high would be approximately right about here actually. If they can hold this, then you might get the third C, but we have a tremendous amount of liquidity to the downside. I'm seeing a lot of puts. Right now on the 0DTE, I have 242 million puts, 187 million calls. So they went from 200 million of sold to 250 of purchased. So about a 450 million increase. So yes, although the absolute value right now of the puts aren't really strong, the collective has been pouring into puts at the moment to the tune of almost 500 million. So I am seeing some put flow. Top wick back over. We have liquidity to the downside into 26,100. There's another top wick. NASDAQ unable to hold the higher high, so you don't have a third C yet. Big smokeroni red candle all the way lower. Here comes the big pivot at 100. Do not buy the dip until you have it 3 Cs, because that's what they want you to do. They want you to go long on this. Oh, give it all you got, baby. Give it all you got. Give it all you got. Bottom wick. They just filled that tremendous large order at 100 and bottom wick back up. NASDAQ is a little bit more supportive than the S&P. S&P is dump, 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 dump. NASDAQ is able to put in a lot of good supportive bottom wicks. So just keep an eye on both of these. Which time frame am I on? What you're seeing is the 1 minute, but I am monitoring multiple time frames off screen. So I monitor multiple time frames simultaneously. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. So the NASDAQ, all we're doing here is testing the lower bounds of this whole range we've been in now for a couple of days. I'm not going to get all carried away here until I see some flows. Right now, they're finally putting on a decent hold up with that high volume spike right at 101. What's up, Phil? How you doing? Oh, I forgot to. I got to give you some information. Gold's going to bounce. Yep. Beautiful bounce. The higher high is going to be right about where we are now, about 129, 130, right here on the NASDAQ. Slow and steady wins the race. VIX is still climbing, almost back to 17, as they cannot roll off the VIX any further than this. Now the red candle, NASDAQ. RTY is bouncing back up. The Dow is bouncing back up. Gold put on a bit of a move, but not really correlated by a lot of volume. NASDAQ is rolling back over. Can't break out. So if you're looking for a long position, for now, right now, the higher high to me is about right here, which is about 131. So if you want a safety right side of the V trade, key word there, if you want a safety right side of the V trade, 131 on NASDAQ is your huckleberry. That will get you 26,200. If you long before then, you may get a good entry, a little early entry for a bounce, but you're going to take a little bit more risk on them rolling this in a transacting lower. So you have to trade off. Do you want to take the risk, or do you want to wait for the safety net? It's up to you. Right now we have liquidity down to 26,075. For S&P, we have got really nothing down. This player keeps coming on and off at 68, 64, but it's still very, very, very small stuff. And then, of course, everything is into the 6,900 realm. Another top wick. How's everybody doing on YouTube? Anyone doing heavy Halloween plans? What are you doing? Trick-or-treating? How much diabetes can you give kids tonight? $28,117. How many leg braces will you see? I don't know what that means. I'm in the Christmas spirit tonight. Heck yeah. Starting tomorrow, it becomes socially acceptable to put up Christmas decorations. Another top wick here, still no bueno. Still can't capture the higher high. Already took the kids. It's 11:30 or 11:50 over here. Oh, nice. Where you at? You're gonna be way across the pond. Still top wicking. Guam. Oh, nice. I honestly didn't realize that Halloween was globally celebrated. At least not in most countries. So that's pretty cool. I don't know about you guys, but in the 90s, I don't remember Christmas decorations in stores. I don't know. You know where I got my Christmas decorations? On the side of the interstate. My dad was so poor he would pull off to the side of the road and just chop down whatever green, evergreen-looking tree he could find and throw in the back of the truck. So I didn't go to stores to get to get Christmas decorations. Santa Claus to me was a beer-stained shirt with a Milwaukee's Best in his left hand. I was like, "Hey Santa." Oh my gosh. The belt, that's right. So I'll give you a Christmas present. NASDAQ is chilling, 26,115. All right, I think I figured out why I have PTSD. Let's go take a look at the news postings. What do we have today? New home sales is on the dock again, but obviously they took that off government shutdown every day this week. Chicago PMI 945 posted. We have FOMC Bostic at 12 o'clock. Heck yeah. Oh, there's a Netflix buzz. Yep. I'm about to blow 2K on a dentist. Super pumped. Nice. That's always fun. NASDAQ continues to try to thrust higher here, and they keep getting wicked. So they're just chilling under the higher high. Be patient. Don't let the market honeypot you into taking positions. On ES, or RTY blasted, ES did briefly breach a higher high, but NASDAQ has not. So there's a little bit of a change up here. A little bit of a change up. I would like to improve my entries. I have a tough time knowing when to enter. Would you recommend waiting until it gets above? Yes, I would. If you want safety, yes, I would. And of course, multiple time frame analysis is key. Make sure you're looking at 1, 5, 15, even 30-minute to determine what the overall theme is. You can kind of tie together all of the trades. And then also understand is that not all trades are equal. Yesterday's trade to me was very obvious. We talked about it through whenever they make such an aggressive dump out of the gate like this that's extended, I love playing the bounce. Here, there was a lot more green intertwined with this little red move, so it's not as momentous. So this trade is not as aggressive, it's not as confident as yesterday's trade. Because here, because they didn't waterfall this move right at the open, we could see a follow-on move lower. So it makes me a little bit more cautious on trying to just go ahead and long a position here. I don't want to front run. So to me, not every single setup is exactly the same in terms of the way I'm going to play things. And that's the third C. That's the experience part of things. The first two C's is going to be the same every single time. The third C is a little bit more experience driven. An employee of mine who lives in Mexico City informed me they had never used to have Dia de las Muertes parades until the Spectre came out. I don't know what that is. Until Spectre came out. People started traveling there expecting, so they began it. Oh, nice. I'm working on my R rolls in the Espanol. Another big red dump here. They just filled that bottom liquidity at 68.80 on ES. I had a data latency spike there too. NASDAQ has big dog at 0.75, another high volume bottom wick. Favorite NBA team? 1996 Bulls. Haven't watched a single second of basketball since 1998. Please explain the 3C strat. 3C strat is my system. The 3C stands for 3 criteria. I have a video on my YouTube channel. I believe it's the third video down that explains my whole system. First C is volume, second C is wick, third C is price action follow through. Another bottom wick. There's 2 bottom wicks in the old NAS with volume. Possible accumulation. I grew up in the suburbs of Chicago then and it was spoiled. Oh yeah, I can imagine. We were all spoiled as 90s babies with all the sports, dude. 26,100. There's a whole crap ton. That is a technical definition of liquidity, lower pricing. Big red, big green so far. Not big green, some green. 26,113. Right now on the 1 minute and the 5, we're seeing wick, 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 wick. They need to be able to hold this price action. This is very important right here. Otherwise, we're going to shift lower. And then we'll have 26,075 on deck. Right here. No follow through to the upside, so down we go. Down we go. It's flag day already. Heck yeah. Is it true that every time it dips lower, it makes a new low, it should gain a boost to go higher? Possibly. 26,087. They just filled that lower liquidity. Just put another low and accumulation once again. I'm slow and I'm late. What's the ticker symbol? What you're seeing here is NASDAQ. I was wondering, do you have a thread in the Discord where you state exactly what calls you're taking out of the membership, but I'm not sure where to go. I do have one for my longer term trades, but my scalps, I'm just running through the process here. So like right now, I'm the whole theme of what I'm looking for, I'm explaining what's going through my brain, which sometimes you may not want to know, is I'm not looking along this unless I get a 3C. The 3Cs is keeping me super safe. Right now, I'm looking for 26.07 on NASDAQ, 0.75-ish, unless we get a high volume 3C bottom wick that closes a higher high, and then I'll look to go long. I love buying the dip. It's one of my favorite things I've been doing since June or so, but I need the 3C. I'm from Cleveland. I've never been spoiled with sports in any form. Then you were born after too late to be able to see the 90s Bulls. Growing up in the 90s with Mariano Rivera, Tiger Woods, Jordan in the Bulls, the late 90s Yankees team overall, Paul O'Neill, Chutino Martinez, Jorge Posada. I mean, come on, man. The 90s were fantastic. Not to mention you got Nirvana, you got Alice in Chains, all the other 90s music. Mark McGuire, Sammy Sosa. Come on, man. Send me back to the 90s. Send me back to the 90s. I graduated high school in '94. It was great. Yeah, buddy. You're a little bit older than me. 10 years older than me to be exact. Yeah. All right, so NASDAQ is still sliding. I don't see a 3C long yet. Be safe. Right now we have 379 million of puts. We have no calls in the books. 33 million of calls is virtually nothing. It's all puts right now. So if you're going to take the trade, just let the trade set up right side of the V. Right side of the V. Did I lower my possible entry point? I'm almost there. That's a great question, Dave. I'm almost there, but not yet. I'm going to chill right here with this current entry. How am I feeling about Boeing? Long term, baby. Long term. Right here. What happens if Bitcoin goes to 5 trillion market cap? So is 127-ish still the higher point? About 130, yeah. Little red here. Look at the 1,500 lots on Bookmap. 1,500 lots on 26,070 NASDAQ, and the market just can't bounce. Look at the VIX. The VIX is 1680 and climbing. All down we go, baby. If they fail this, we are in trouble of being able to fill down to yesterday's lows, which I would love for volatility. Give me something. Without the 3Cs, I would have 3 failed entries this morning already done. Now I haven't seen anything. Maybe Tesla bounce. There you go. Beautiful. 3Cs help you not only take entries, but avoid stupid entries. What's Bitcoin market cap? 2.5 trillion, I think. Last I checked. Of course, that was a wee bit ago. '80s tops the '90s. LeBron, Jordan, Bird, Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan, yeah, 100%. He was my childhood hero. I have 25,800 on Nasdaq today. Am I dreaming? Well, before I answer, let's go take a look. 25.8 would be, ooh, that would be aggressive. It's not outside. I mean, they do like to do crazy stuff on these type of days where they have a launch mode green earnings, get everyone nice and bulled up, and then do stuff like that. However, the market, the price action the past, however long, is not conducive for those type of moves. We've had one single day since April that has smoked the market and stayed down without a bottom wick, and that was October 10th. So it's hard to say when when that actually becomes realistic. I would not count on that. If it happens, it happens, but I wouldn't go for that. It's just not. It's not probabilistic. Y'all are old. We are old, dude. I still have an Atari 2600 fully working with like 100 games, just to remind me where I come from. Super Punch Out? Heck yeah, man. All right, finally have a green candle. Can it hold? Can it hold? Rick Schmidt lives down the road from me. I hang out at his house. Nice. It's another top wick here, NASDAQ. Unable to go anywhere. What's gold doing? Gold's rocket ships, they had a beautiful 3C high volume bounce, and their confirmed price action was 4026.7, and off we go. Another top wick on ES, another top wick on NASDAQ. Maybe I'm wrong. Isn't NASDAQ set up like the August short? This price action right now, the daily chart, looks like it did back in July of 2024, right before we got wrecked. It's just, it's in full blow off top melt up mode. Now, eventually, yes, we are going to face some extreme pressure, but who knows when that's actually going to happen? Like it's beyond everyone's expectations. I'll be completely honest with you. It is no longer fun for me to speculate on long-term price action because there's no analysis to this. It's just up and up and every day. And you could be one of those, be like, well then just buy and hold, baby, just be a bull, whatever. Yeah, I get it. I get it. And in fact, my stock portfolio is still exactly where it was with long positions. It's just at some point that's going to stop working, and we don't know when that's going to be. Literally any day between now and 2 years from now, we can wake up and we're going to have a very significant red session. I mean, like limit down red session. We just don't know when that's going to be. And if you even try to question the gap up rally every day that's never happened before, you get called names. So when it's like, all right, well, you put yourself in my position where I've never seen my net worth grow to this level anywhere this fast. I have a right to be a little skeptical, a little fearful of everything I've worked so hard for. Anyway, new red candle here. Smoked it. No high volume 3C, no higher high. Look at this. You can see it. Use your little Alt J tool and look at the candles. Down, 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 down. What do you see there? This is a step down price action. This is not price action you want to long until you break the step down structure here. Just keep things simple. Look, they're going for 26.05. Smashing bull in the belly when he rushed. It was. That's actually how my wife got me to marry her. That's what people who have no wealth to protect say. True. The lost decade is coming. I agree. We need to clean the table and return to price. Well, I don't know what's gonna take, but long-term investing and asset increase appreciation is obviously very fun. It's great, yay. But in terms of trading speculation, this is not a fun market to be in anymore because it's just, all right, well, I guess I'm just going to buy and hold every day and watch this thing rock into oblivion on increasingly deteriorating conditions. So, whatever. So NASDAQ is still holding off here. That is a beautiful bottom wick. So that so far could be the possibility of a bounce, could be, because that is how they like to do things. Quick, aggressive move lower, immediate hammer candle with volume, and that gets everyone starting to short, and then we bounce back up. So we could get a bounce here, maybe. I still need the higher highs. Right now, I would probably look for at least 110, 112 to close, and then you'll get the bounce recovery. So, could be. Even though there isn't a lower wick. Yeah, we got a lower wick right here. 063 was a lower wick. Too much potential profit in trading options to not get fully involved. Great channel. Oh, thanks, Tool. Appreciate it. Always appreciate your input. Thanks, Maddie. Bitcoin kind of pinned to the gradually climb to the kilowatt cost of mining. Goes higher due to the data centers. And some dude making 37 AI housewives. Yeah. Needed to be a hammer candle. No, not necessarily. It just needs to be... I more pay attention to the aggressiveness. That was a very quick, very aggressive move lower. That was equally and now even more aggressive bottom wick to go higher. So that has all the hallmarks of a trap, of a sweep. Get people shorting at the bottom. There's a red candle, market short, and then boom, I'm immediately down 30 points. And now they're gonna fear close the position, and up we go. Every time our economy's gone to crap, it's when the banks are too lax with credit. They start to do the same. If you remember the movie The Big Short, and I don't want to bring this movie up because it's too cliche, but if you remember one of the early scenes of The Big Short, he talks about one of the markers of a bubble is when fraud explodes, when the instances of fraud go nuts, and obviously we're seeing that now. Again, I don't know if that's actually the case, but hey, and I think it has a lot to do with the massive amounts of liquidity that were induced. So 26,106. I need at least 11. Yeah, I need at least 11. You know, we could speculate on which higher do you want to use, but I need at least 111 to close, and then we'll go from there. Otherwise, whatever. Happy Halloween, Dan. What's up? Still going. There you go. Little bounce-a-roni with cheese. Little bounce-a-roni with cheese. VIX is still 1683. ES is 6875. Gold long, close 4038. Nice twizzy. My wife is a big-time discount shopper, and that goes for medical. We get her levothyroxine for $25 a month. Labs are full price. Turn to 7 hours for labs. Interesting. Yeah. Waiting for a higher high makes you enter later, but the offset of lower risk is break even, right? Well, waiting for the higher high, again, you know, the third C is an art form. So there are times where I will not wait for the third close and just play the first two C's and put on the risk for a possible high reward. But that is, you know, there's still analysis going on there, and I have to make the decision to take on that risk given certain market conditions. From June until September, a lot of the times I would play the first two C's without the third C because the market was very much buy the dip higher, buy the dip higher, buy the dip higher. Yesterday was a very much high confidence bottom wick that allowed for certain conditions for a high move very quickly. Now, the market is grinding lower and lower and lower and lower. So I need to be a little bit more patient and a little bit more analytical on the trade. Now, yes, there is a possibility where I could get my close of 111, take a long position, and it immediately dumps back down to 060. That's fine. I'll just stop out of the position. But it's better than trying to catch a falling knife all morning while this thing just slides lower and lower and lower and you get wrecked 10, 15 times. It's all about having a process on which to decide and figure out when things go right and when things go wrong. And that's the name of the game, is that, yeah, I may be wrong and take a loss, but at least I know why, when, and how, which I could analyze in the future. Do I have an ES3C on the 5? Let's take a look. We do have a technical high volume long, yeah. Right here is 6884. But overall, I would play that the same way as NASDAQ, which I need about 6888. Whereas NASDAQ right now, I need at least, right about in this area, you can kind of see it. Bounce around it with cheese. That's right, Toby. That's right. What's up, Will? Good morning. Bienvenidos. When does TPT move you to a live account? You need 5 payouts and or a $10,000 profit on one day. $10,000 on one day. So if you're ever in a TPT Pro account and they auto close your position out of nowhere, right about the $10,000 profit mark, that's what's happened. Is they auto close the position at $10,000 profit, they shut the account off, and they put you into a Pro Plus or a live account. $10K on one single account. So if you have 5 accounts Pro and they all go 10,000 each, 50,000 total, then yeah, they'll shut off every individual account as they do it. What trading platform do I use? I have IBKR Personal. I've got TopStep and TPT Props. They're the only two that I use currently. I tested out Tradeify. I hate their consistency rules. But the only ones I currently have and currently use and recommend is TopStep and TPT. I'm an affiliate of TPT, but I'm not an affiliate of TopStep. I make nothing from TopStep. But I still believe in them and I recommend them. I've been scared because Ryan Cohen keeps saying that he won't spend his $9 billion in cash until he sees an opportunity in the market and go green to red and 20% of the market. Yeah, I don't know. Any advantage for live accounts? With TPT, there is. You get once you go into the live account, the $10,000 restriction is not there. So in the event that you're a big player and you make more than 10K, it's not going to auto close the trade. Number 2, the profit split's better. You had 90-10. It goes from 80-20 to 90-10, which sounds like we're talking about ground beef, but whatever. And yeah, that's pretty much it. In my opinion, the TPT live account is the best live account in the game. Of any prop firm, it's the best live account. Because you could take daily payouts. It's literally a real account at that point. Daily payouts, no rules. It's Wild West, man. What you make is what you get. There's no rules, no restrictions. They don't ask any questions. It's 90-10 split, and it's daily payouts. So I love it. It's hard for me not to look at it as nearly a real account, not a prop account, except for the 90-10 split, of course, and the tax ramifications. But anyway, no higher high here, so no long setup for me. This is starting to look quite weak. At some point, this is going to turn into absorption, at which we are going to step on the clutch, downshift into first gear, and pile this thing into 26,000. Do you actually get to keep that 10K before they move you to Pro? What happens is whatever account you're on, so let's say you're on the $100,000 account, which is a $3,000 buffer. If you make $10,000 a day, they lock 3,000 of that, and they use that as your buffer for the Pro Plus. 7,000 is yours. You could withdraw it all or do whatever you want. It's your money. But the 7,000 doesn't get transferred into the Pro Plus. That is yours. The 3,000 is your buffer. And if you were to close if you for some reason want to close a live account, you do get that 3,000 back. They do pay it to you. But if you blow the account and lose it, then obviously not. You lost the money. What's up, Futures? Haven't seen you in a while, buddy. What you been up to? You hit the $1 million mark yet? Thinking about the math there are so many losers that are willing to speculate that you won't make 10K if you do pay out of pocket. It takes a lot of hunter values. So yeah, but you know, again, you're 100% right, and they're going to take advantage of that. Every prop firm is going to bank on the fact that there's going to be gamblers. But once you realize that, I've hit the $10,000 day a couple of times before, and every single time I wasn't trying to do it. It was literally on 1 or 2, 3 minis that I just happened to have a fantastic day, caught a massive trade a couple of times, and I hit it. Every single time, of course, that you all know that I try to turn up the risk and go for big wins, I get whacked. It's no bueno. 10K per day, is that like, no, it's only per day. But again, you know, that is not a goal for y'all to achieve. That is just if you do have a $10,000 day in the pro account, they auto put you into a live account. That is not something you need to go for. So, you know, don't worry about it. Unless if it happens, it happens, but don't go for it. There you go, futures. I like it. Trust me, I am not the best utilization of TPT being daily payouts is to go for very small daily payouts. $100 an account per day. That's money. That's amazing. It's real money. Forget about the big wins. If it happens, it happens. But forget about the big wins and just pick up the crumbs. At least, kind of like the podcast episode I created a couple weeks ago, create a farm system. Treat it as a business where you're going to use payouts to pass eval accounts and build your buffer. Build an army of past evals and funded accounts where you can, from then on out, as long as your risk management stays the same, you just grow. You just grow. Not affiliate for any profit. My go-to are TPT and Funded Next. Really? Never tried Funded Next. Is it good? This is what I'm saying, not to go to a live account. There you go. Do you know why the props are not offering this for trading stocks? Leverage. That would be my first guess. I'm not a fan of leveraging AI to automate trading. I'm indifferent on it. I don't know. I personally don't use AI for a lot of stuff, so I don't know. I mean, yeah, if it can help you gain an edge, sure, definitely. Me gusta, papi. 1 day to pass, 3 days between payouts, 5 accounts max. They also have a legacy challenge with uncapped payouts. Oh, nice. Interesting. I'll take a look at them. All right, so we still can't get over the higher range here. So if you look at this from a different lens, let's go to the 15-minute. What do you see? Large drawdown. We have these little inside candles here. The 15-minute doesn't have a high volume spike. But we are still 6 minutes away from a 15-minute close here. The 5-minute is starting to look like it may want to put on. It's very easy to start to see this start to form, this little U shape right here for the upside. That's great. Don't get honeypotted until you get 118. I need 118. You see all this right here? In fact, I'll put an official line at 118. Let's call it there, right there. That's what I need to go long. The right side of the V. Right now, we're still in ground effect. We're about 10 feet off the runway. We're ground effect. I need to apply a little bit more power, accelerate until VX, and then climb out. Right side of the V. You can't rotate until you're at least at VX. How do you know why props are? I already answered that. Oh man. 423 million calls, 800 million in puts. Does this fit into your I don't like this red out of the gate? No. You know, I talked about that earlier, is that this is not the same as yesterday. Yesterday was waterfall. Very aggressive, very quick, waterfall red, 15 minutes, boom. I mean, they dropped it big time yesterday. Today, they've inched it down. You see this? I mean, this is a very controlled demolition, like 9/11. Right here, so 26, 210, a little bit of red, green bounce, a little bit of red, green bounce, a little bit of red, green bounce, over and over and over again. And here we are just chilling. We can't accumulate a bounce yet. So 26,085, and we're still rolling over here. So we don't have the big aggressive dump, bottom wick, and then thrust higher. This is pretty dang aggressive right here. I don't know what y'all are talking about. Big red candle right there. Boom. 308 million. There are selling calls and buying puts here. This looks like this looks like an absorption for a lower price. 26,077. Right here. 26,066 once we take out the 6.5. It's very conceivable they are selling at higher prices to prepare for the rollover. That's what this does look like. Remember, think about the environment we are in right now. Euphorically bullish pre-market action, overnight and pre-market. Everyone's like, yay, 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 look at me, I just took calls, LFG, let's go. So this is typical for them to do this type of stuff. Punish the people that either took calls or chased calls at the highs. So this is the same thing as when the market is overly bearish and people try to short into the ground. They bounce it and rock it. Same thing. They're just punishing the liquidity they have on the books. So I don't care about any bounce at all until I see the high volume 3Cs. Large red candle with volume, by the way. Back from the hospital. What's up, buddy? I'd like to have you back, Juicebox. Hope you're doing well, buddy. I've been thinking about you. Do you get that, Lowen, though? That's a great question. The difference between yesterday's morning's price action and today's price action. Sweet, sweet. I feel you're better about a bounce if volume would come off. Yeah. Right now, VIX just tapped 17 and gave a little toppy-toppy. We keep having these volume spikes. So if you look, where is the volume coming in at on the 1 minute? And the only reason I'm looking at the one is to show you the accuracy of the volume spike. Where do we see it? So here's a volume spike. Every time we have the outlier volume spikes. It comes in here, it comes in here, it comes in here, it comes in here. So if they keep up that price action without dropping, this will turn into an accumulation style event, at which point 26,118 will be my trigger to long up, and then we'll have two targets once we claim 26,118 on NASDAQ. My targets will be the 50% retracement, which is about 130, and then after that, it'll be the high of the day of 208, 206, whichever it is. Those will be my two targets once we claim 118. But until then, I'm not taking a long. Just be safe. Just be safe. We have 2,000 lots sitting at 26,005 and change. That is a very large and in charge order book. Thanks for getting me into the prop game. You're welcome, Wesley. You're welcome. We're currently doing a OM Discord server challenge, $1,000 payouts. If you're able to keep a funded account open for 30 days. If no one is able to claim the prize, we'll do it again and again and again until y'all get my $1,000. Heck, I might even up the prize. We'll see. If no one claims it this time, I might up it. I'll do a cost of living adjustment on the prize for inflation, adjusted for inflation. And we're about to take our Christmas sweater pictures. So you'll get a signed picture of me in a ugly Christmas sweater. May have to blow a TPT funded account just to get OM's money with a new account. Do it. Do it. Could throw in a tier 2 for a month. I like that. That's a good idea. I might spice it up, yeah. Look at this. So we're still attacking the 118. Just be smart about this. It should be pretty obvious what the chart is attempting to do here. Look at the 5-minute chart. Massive bottom wick on this move here with volume spike. So this could be a bounce. This could be it. But I'm not going to speculate until I see 118. I'm not going to speculate till I see 118. That rhymes. Did you finalize an end time on it yet? I have not, but I mean, it's kind of going to be one of those organic things. I'll figure out something. I can't see. I have to be careful with that because I can't come out and create a rule, and then someone's gonna be like, "Oh, you changed the rules, and now you're just go avoid paying out." And then it'll go viral on Twitter, and then I'll be called a scammer again, which it's everyday occurrence anyway. Whatever. What size sweater do I wear? Aren't you like 7 feet tall? No, no. I mean, lying down, but I am 5'11" and a quarter and a half. Even though they say no one's actually 5'11", but what does TPT stand for? TakeProfitTrader. TakeProfitTrader. It's a prop firm. No, I'm definitely 5'11". Yeah, I'm 5'11". Another top wick here. Can't get my 111 close. Just easier. Yeah, they say there's no one there are nobody is 5'11". It's because they all say they're 6 foot. I do the same thing. Yeah. The only one who's actually called me out on it is my son, who's finally taller than me, because he actually wants to get out the ruler and measure to the millimeter. Just like agnostic coming out with the jokes. I love it. I love it. Who's the tallest in here? I know one of y'all is like 6'3". It's like Chris or somebody you wouldn't expect is super tall in here. I'm pretty sure it's Chris Daniels. Isn't he like 6'3" or 6'4" or something? I know you're gigantic. Juice box. You're like Hathor Bjornsson. Must have giant hair. One of y'all is super big. You're 6'5". Nice to be, Tony. I was 5'11". However, 67 years old. He lost a quarter inch. Yeah, it happens. It happens. Can't get over 118 yet. That's exactly, Damien. Exactly. I was 5'11 and a half. Now I've shrunk down to 5'10". You got to do some reverse hangs, man. You got to get those hooks for your ankles and hang off a bar. Stretch that spine out. 5'11", 215. There you go. Post a selfie? No. Come on now. Give me something to go off of here. Very ominous to be longing with that giant amount of liquidity down there, but honestly, he's been doing that all week. It's very common this week to put on these massive levels and trend away from them. Selfie time for everyone except me. They have filters. You can gussy yourself up. Yeah. I don't know if I can make, if I make AI work that hard, it might break the power grid. Let's just say I like Baby Ruth. 108, 110. Are they going to do this or not? Here we go. Uh-oh. This looks like a pretty shaky move. This looks like a pretty shaky move. And top wick. Can't do it. Look at that. It's like they know they're watching the stream. Which one of y'all are in here? Is that you, Kennedy? Holy crap. What even is that? Massive top wick right off 118. Can't get through it. Right here. Can't do it. We are on the 1 minute. What does the 5 minute look like? Oh, they just filled it. I'm not. Big green. Look at this. Finally starting to claim it here. This is an aggressive move. Interesting. Muy interesante. What are they going to do on NASDAQ? Let's see if we can claim this 118. They need to hold it. They need to hold it. They need to hold it. We have 600 million in calls, 600 million in puts, and they're back up here at 130. That 1021 candle will give a good foundation for it, but if they don't. Just about, Sean. Yeah, just about. Just about. They're watching the stream too? Yeah. Tell me about it. I haven't been listening to the stream for a while, but I've been missing the sound of the ice. There you go. I've tried to do better about that. Here's a price action on the 1 minute, still holding right here at 118. Who's over 6'2" and weighs 300? Did people complain about you chewing ice? I mean, some people did, but really it was just me. Listening to my recordings, trying to snip out some clips, and I hear, and I was like, if I was listening to this, I would want to shoot myself in the face. So. All right, 130. We're finally over here. Looks like they're going to start making a move back up. There we go. Let's do it. What can you do? What can you do? They're going to do the old breakout, shakeout. They're watching the stream. They probably are. They probably are. It was often, yeah. I need to get myself a good straw. 600 million in calls, 644 million puts. They're still struggling with holding 118. The next candle or two will give me my decision. How'd you get your fib retracement? You only show the one. If you go into the settings, you can adjust them. So if you go into, if you click on the fib and go into your settings, yeah, right here, you can turn off everything except just the 50. Because I don't care about all the other calculations. To me, that's like astrology. So I just put on the half measure, which worked pretty well. And I'm really in the still test phases of that. I'm not, I still don't make that axial. I use it as a quasi-target type thing. Just don't put your ice in the Yeti. Yeah. I gotta have ice though. This sounds a little nuts, but I think SPY 670 is possible by Monday. That's interesting. I bought hard in April. I got really close to time in the bottom, and I'm up over the portfolio 50%. When do you think we'll see a topping? Should I just hold? Well, is it investment portfolio or is it a trading portfolio? There's a difference. My go-to answer with that type of question is don't do nothing. Don't white knuckle and hope. If you're uncomfortable, then either close or hedge. If you're good to go and let's go higher, baby, then just chill. But don't do nothing. Make a decision that is not just sitting there and white knuckling. There we go. 118 closed. First target is going to be the 50 pull, which is what we just first blew through. Next target is going to be the high of the day of 207. Again, my eyes will be down here to determine if we have a volume spike. If we have a volume spike, then you know what's coming. Don't hope for a long position to go higher if you see a 3C short opportunity. You have to protect yourself before you wreck yourself if you see a 3C short op. A 3C short opportunity is means to get out of a long opportunity. It's, you know, that's not philosophical. There we go. There's 146. Let's go for, I don't know. I don't even know where they're going with this. Just pick the target. Chillax. Manos Erebus. Take your hands off. Take those sweaty meat sticks off the mouse. And just let it happen. Just let it happen. Ah, delicious. Delicious. Oh, man. I need a new weapon. I think I'm ready to do this. I'd like to piece out a 1022 piece by piece, but that's not traceable. Sometimes I check myself and I still wreck myself. There you go. The NASDAQ 5-minute candle creating a FGD IMB plus. If it holds, we'll wait for re-entry to go long as the volume supports it. This looks like 118 would be my line in the sand. Nice, there you go. Previous resistance. Just yapping out loud. Well, I don't know about the FVG IMB plus stuff, but 118 correlates exactly with me, so I like the concept. I like the concept. There's that bottom wick on the red, which should propel us a little bit higher. Every single red candle on an uptrend is tackling fuel for higher. It's like if a rocket ship is going to Mars, you got to be able to stop at the moon to refuel. If you're on a strong uptrend, every little red candle like that is just stopping at the moon to gain more fuel, so you can get to Mars. So if you can survive the red candles, then you can catch a trend. It will now be traceable. Yeah. Is this what you mean being the issue we get stopped out on early before the moves? Your long position was 130 and your stop was 133. I mean, that's a 3-point stop on NASDAQ is pretty dang tight. That's really tight. So. I'm in it now, but I'm in stops and profit. Do you keep your stop under entry? Yeah, absolutely. Until we break structure. Until we break structure. Because if you move your stop too far into profit too quickly, then you're gonna cut your legs out from under you. Now, on this move, yeah, I'm already gonna be placing my stop in profit. But if you put it up 3 points against you, you're never gonna catch a trend. You're gonna get stopped out unless you catch a crazy like blast off candle that just happens to it happens to go right before it stops you out, and you get a good move. Unless that happens, you're not going to be able to catch a trend, and that's not fun. Yeah, it's fun when you place a long position and you get this instantaneous 50-point green candle. That's fun for everybody, but that's not going to happen all the time. So you've got to be able to survive the refueling Mars candles, so to speak, the red candles, in order to catch a trend. Let it breathe. Yeah, I'm not saying you have to leave a 40-point stop on, but 3 points is too tight. So in this example, depending, I don't know when you entered. You said you entered about 130, and so you're 20 points in profit here. So in my opinion, if they breach 138, I would at least consider tightening your stop up. But here we are. Now we took out the higher high, which should get us a little bit more of a upper movement, and go from there. So now that the next structure has broken, which is about 14150, now you move your stop up again. Now you move it up again. You play hopscotch with the structure of the market, not your P&L. Who cares about your P&L? Just let it eat. Let it eat. There we go. And now we're going, baby. You see the whole process we did this whole open? I was patient. I didn't take any shorts. I just waited for 118, waited for 118, waited for 118 until we finally got it. And now look, now we're at 160. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. And now that we've taken out the targets, my next obvious target, again obvious, is we're going high of the day, which is, or the morning high, which currently is what, 200? And then the pre-market high, if we get that, is going to be 268. I mean, I don't know if we're going to go that high, but this is pretty nice. This is pretty nice. So far, in my opinion, if you're long, there's no reason to get out of positions yet. Everything has been green base, green base. There's been no lower lows yet. So just like you're looking for a 3C short or a 3C long, use the 3Cs to maintain your position, which means we don't have a 3C short indication. So theoretically, you should be comfortable holding a short position for a considerable amount of time. Or a 3C long position, I'm sorry. We're trying not to eat the ice, I'm sorry. It's like a pile of cocaine sitting on the side of the desk. I love ice. Oh my gosh. Oh man. My biggest mental hurdle has always been the red candles on the uptrend. I get super spooked and feel like it's going to reverse. Here's the deal, Zach. Here's the deal. You're never, ever, ever going to know when you're going to long a massive trend or you're going to long 2 or 3 green candles before it drops all the way down. You're just never going to know it. Ever. Me, nobody. The best traders in the world don't know anything. Nobody has a crystal ball. So predictions, meh. Take your best predictions, put them in one hand, put a pile of poop in the other hand, see which one fills up first. In fact, I would even say the pile of poop is more valuable because you could sell it for fertilizer or compost. So stick your head up the butt of a steer, whatever, something like that. Anyway, the point is that it's all about managing your risk, managing your thesis, managing the structure. Because I don't know if this thing is going to go to 207 or if this is going to sell all the way back off to new lows of the day. All I know is that we have price action that is green than base. Green than base. We have no lower lows. We have no vol volume spikes. We have no indication from a technical standpoint that this is going to reject. So it is in my best interest to maintain a long position until I see the signs. You're not going to evacuate lower Florida if there's no sign of hurricanes coming in. But if they start saying, hey, there's a 90% chance Hurricane Jabroni is going to hit Florida next week, guess what? You're going to tuck tail in GTFO. There's no forecast for a hurricane hitting here, so I'm going to maintain long until I see that. I'm all about the metaphors today. It's all about managing, man. Managing risk. Manage your risk, and that's it. Manage your risk. Right side of the V, baby. We waited for the right side of the V, and now we're just waiting for a 3C short opportunity to get us out of the long. And even then, if I see a 3C short opportunity, you even have a decision. Do I want to go ahead and exit the trade, just hit market sell and get out? Or do you just want to manage your stop up tight and see if it's just a momentary spike in volume and you're going to get even better price? That's up to you. There you go, Twizzy. Thank you. Hurricane Jabroni, I'm getting out of there. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, man. There we go. 171 still going. 171 still going. There's no 3C short opportunity whatsoever. Still going. Straight up, baby. When you say right side of the V, do you mean volume or volatility? I guess both, yeah. So it's about if you're trying to play a long position, if you're trying to play a bounce, like if this is price action for a bounce, you want to play this, not on this side. So your goal is to be patient enough to wait for the bounce to happen and then play the right side of that V on the upside, which is exactly what we just did. 26,118 was my right side of the V. And look what happens. 60 points. This was, I mean, this is YouTube shortable, how well this worked out. What's up, Mojo? What would have been your entry on the S&P? Let's go take a look. S&P would have been probably right here at 886.5 or so. You know when you've picked out the proper level, Mojo, is if they use your level as the support resistance on a breakaway. So if you look at NASDAQ, they used it. They broke above the 118. They came back down and they tested it as a support. So that tells me that was the proper trigger for a long position. That was the proper liquidity sweep. And up we go. Another successful day trade right there. Thanks for the reminders. You're welcome, Jonathan. Beautiful stuff. 183 is the 200. There you go. Straight fire. Thanks for the education. You're welcome, Lava. You're very welcome. Am I on voice every day? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I am live on YouTube. The other days, I am live in the Discord. This is the best. This is hands down the best way to learn live trading with an extremely experienced trader. Thank you. Appreciate that. Y'all come hang out with us every day. This is what we do every day. Sometimes it's less successful than this. Sometimes it's more successful, but this is what we try to do every day. When did you start streaming Fridays again? Back in July. Late July, early August is when I started up again. I took my little break and it was fantastic. And we're back to it, baby. We're back to it. You're welcome, Phil. I feel like your 3Cs are catching fire. You're going to have a ton of members soon. Well, you know, that's I hope that a lot of people find value in this. That's the big thing. So that's the big thing for me, is that I want to know that what I'm doing here is actually making a difference. Because, you know, in 40, 50 years when I'm about to call it a life, I want to be able to know that I actually did something with it and not just sit here and look at a bunch of red and green crap. So hopefully everyone gets some value out of it. So travel the world. Yeah, I'd like to travel the world without trying to blow up people. That'd be nice. Actually enjoy some food. Do I have an email on the website? It's been a while since I checked the website out. What do you mean email? I've got my email that you can email, which is optionsmillionaire2020@gmail.com. Hit up Japan. I've always wanted to go to Japan. I've never been. I've always wanted to go. When the 3Cs are hit, are you guys doing credit spreads? Nope, we're doing long positions. Some people do credit spreads. Yeah, Chris does credit spreads. Oh, I'm conference in Japan. Heck yeah, man. People are respectful. The food is unreal. Yeah, that's always been on my bucket list. I've always wanted to go to Japan. For culinary reasons, for skiing reasons. They said the snow in Japan is even better than Vail. It's like baby powder. I've always wanted to go skiing in Japan. That's the water. Nice. So far, I could tell you you've already done a massive amount to help me. I'd like to do the same in the long term for others, so rest assured you made some magic. Thank you. I appreciate that, QJ. I hope that we can have continued success together. Always pass it on. Always pass it on. Always pass it on. Have I seen the data platform Gamma Strike? It's kind of new, wondering if you saw it. I have not seen it. I currently use Spot Gamma. who's an options data analytic tool, which is the bottom left screen you're seeing on the YouTube. What's the best video about the 3 C's? I'll show it to you. Hold on a second. Let's see, video. Boom. There we go. There you go. It's so hard to watch this, afraid of giving back profits. No, don't be afraid of nothing, man. Just set your stop. Just set your stop. Boom, that got me out right there. Just set your stop. OM Love Day. That's why their whiskey's so good. Man, I haven't had whiskey in so long. I don't even know what good whiskey is. Is this tackling fuel? Well, it's a change of character. It's a little different from the red we've been seeing. So look at the stream here. This is a little different than what we've been seeing. It's different from this. So hold on, that's a little misleading. There we go. This. So it could be just a little flag to go back up. I don't know. We had a little volume inflow, not a lot on that top wick. So we have a couple of different markers that show that this could be a rejection. I don't know that. So you have to make a decision. Do you want to leave on the risk, or do you want to let it fly? So, you know, again, there's a couple of ways you can manage that. You can go ahead and close the trade. Either way, this is a fantastic move. There's no shame in closing this out. Or you could set a stop somewhere down here just to give back some profit, or just let it go up. Use the pullback as a new stop loss. There you go. Fantastic. Do I have a TV link for my ES chart? I don't, but I could switch over to ES for a few minutes if you want. There you go. It bounced off S3. If you notice everything I try to teach y'all and everything that I live by is just don't do nothing. Just make a decision. And this goes back to the pilot world. You know, one of the things my early instructor told me is that if you're in a situation, just make a decision and go with it. It could be a wrong decision. Fine, we'll solve that problem when we come to it. But don't do nothing and just fly the plane into the ground. Do something. And the same thing applies to managing and trading. Make a decision and just stick to it. That's it. And don't wishy-washy. Don't change stuff. Don't be fearful. Just make a decision, execute, and if something goes wrong, then just take notes and figure out what you did wrong and fix it for the next time. Would I get back in if it busts 26.2? Maybe. It all depends on the price action. That's good advice all around and everything. Heck yeah. Absolutely. Nothing that happens without action. Remind me, are you using the default volume view? I am. Yes, sir. Or ma'am. Yes, sir, ma'am. Yeah. I'm using the volume indicator. So right when you log into, the first time you sign up for TradingView, you get the volume at the bottom. That's all I'm using. I just went down and I changed the color to green and white instead of red and green. We applied the same thing in firefighting. Take the good one and the bad one, but take one. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Just make a decision. Anyway, I think we could delete these red lines here because these are all the prior instances. We saw accumulation though. From a VPA perspective, that is accumulation. And that's a good way to start determining I need to stop thinking about shorting. Whenever you see these continued high volume bottom wicks, that's accumulation. So if I see that, it's very difficult for me to start to look for short positions with that style of price action. Look where we just bounced the volume with gold. Look at that. Nice. Nice. Look at that. Didn't get a chance to post it now. I don't like how we couldn't close above this 15-minute previous support. A little SR flip. I like it. Yeah. I like it. It's good stuff. Lockheed Martin. Interesting. What else y'all got? Any questions? I'm going to have to mute here for a second. I'll be right back. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. What do I think of the F-35? I used to be very critical of the F-35 because the individuals that I knew that flew it, they spent more time on the ground than they did in the air because they were just loaded with problems. Now, they've pretty much fixed a lot of the problems. There's still some issues, but they fixed most of it. The big issue was the oxygen system and the pressurization system, but they fixed it. But the capability from a technological standpoint are absolutely extraordinary. It is by far the most advanced aircraft in the world, and it's not even close. What do you think of that AI aircraft on the Sean Ryan show? I haven't seen it. gold just put on some of the highest volume of the day on that red candle. Interesting. Now look where we rejected. A little bit of trend line erroneous. I love it. Cup and handle on the ES. I don't know. Is it true if the president was flying a Cessna, it would be considered Air Force One? Yes, it is. Any aircraft that the president is on will be considered that. It'll get the call sign Air Force One, unless there's some sort of emergency situation where they need to not, use that nomenclature. Can you tell about Chipotle for a long-term buy? I don't know, man. If they had a momentary red candle from earnings, maybe, but they're down what? They're down almost 50% on the year. Retail is not something that performs well in a recessionary environment, in which we are definitely in a recessionary environment. So now, in terms of a short-term bounce from a correction of the over move from earnings, then yeah, it probably will get a nice little significant bounce. But in terms of fundamentals, I don't think so. Who wants to pay $20 for a bowl of rice? I'm in a 67.90 short put. Tell me I'm safe. 67.90. 0 DTE? As long as we hold 42, I would say that low candle, I'd say you're safe. If we start taking out 44, I would begin to I would sweat it, but until then I think you're fine. Trader J is very, very confident. I learned a long time ago that if you talk uncertainties, we'll call credit spreads, you're going to get wrecked, or spreads. So I prefer to if and statements. I was going to say we're in a recession because everything's so high, I'll eat at home. VIX didn't really drop much from that move, still hovering 17. Yep, you're exactly right. Jonathan has a good catch. Yeah, we have a negative CVD. 900 million in calls and falling, 600 million in puts. So the two things that are interesting here on this little bounce. Number one, VIX never sold off. VIX is maintaining 17. Number two, put selling never really happened. We had a couple of closure of puts, but overall we are still very heavy on puts. They did buy calls though, so that's kind of what attributed to this big move up from an option chain perspective. Obviously we had all of the VPA setups, which got us into the long position. But the market never really showed a propensity for reducing put exposure. We started to cook at home since everything was so expensive for such low quality, and now we're really eating out anymore since you learned to cook. Heck yeah, man. Home cooking is fantastic. Can't beat it. Can't beat it. Have you ever had homemade bread or homemade biscuits made with fresh home milled flour, like with wheat berries? It's fantastic. Like, I'm not even being like cliche. Like, it's legitimately fantastic. Currently no position for me. I've taken one play today. I'm just waiting to see if there's anything else to trade. Is that multiple apps? Yes, it is. So there's 3 different screens you're looking at here. The chart is obviously TradingView. On the left side, you see on the top Bookmap, which is an order flow visual heat map, and the bottom left is options flow with 0 DTEs. The green line is going to be calls, the blue line is going to be puts. We reduce bread to 20%, mainly eat rice for carbs. Yeah, it sounds like us. A ton of white rice. Ton of white rice. I'm making some Mexican rice for lunch, though. And hit hard when you say I'm paying $20 for a bowl of rice. It is. It's crazy, man. Think about what you're paying. Like, yeah, you got to pay for some convenience in that, but $20 for some rice with some pieces of meat on it, and like very small amount of meat too. If they loaded that thing down with meat, maybe, but come on. Oh man. Can't charge $20 for a burrito, then also skim on the portions. It's highway robbery. Yeah. My wife is Spanish. She makes the best Spanish rice I've ever had. A blessing the woman. Oh man. I love some Spanish rice. Bookmap has gold tickers. They do. I think sourdough is fantastic. It is. My esposa makes jalapeno cheddar sourdough bread. It's like the top 3 things I've ever put in my mouth. It's amazing. VIX is still climbing, 1704. ES is starting to slide a little bit differently than NASDAQ. Interesting. Put buying is accelerating. Put buying is accelerating here. $17.10. 900 million in puts, 647 million calls. But I mean, another bottom wick, high volume too, or higher volume on NASDAQ. I just had jalapeno corn casserole. That sounds good. What's ES doing? ES is bouncing. NASDAQ is bouncing too, 162. Gold is 4025.7. They did put on a high volume bounce at the lows of the day. What can we do? VIX is still climbing. 154 NASDAQ, 153. Can't get over. Can't get over. If we can't hold, I'm shorting 4012. Nice, nice. I'm sitting here watching VIX climb hard. This is not normally what you'd want to see for a full blast-off recovery. There's no more events to hedge for, so it's not like we're hedging for something. If this was a de-hedging event after FOMC and earnings, we would see the VIX get cremated right now. But the VIX is 17 and climbing. We're seeing 900 million in puts pick up, and NASDAQ continues to touch just a slide just a touch lower. ES is doing the same. So if NASDAQ can take out the 49 area, that's going to be your indication to slide back down to the lower targets. But so far, it's still holding the prior pivot, which is about 147. Now the bottom wick. Now the bottom wick. Snap benefits end tomorrow. There you go. Social media says civil unrest. Yeah, social media says a lot of stuff. So another question. I mean, that's a great great comment though. Your question right now needs to be: will the market makers go risk on or risk off over the weekend for next week? Will they go risk on or risk off next week? We have ISM manufacturing on Monday, a couple of Fed speeches. We have JOLTS job openings. Of course, all this is dependent on the government. ADP non-farm, which is a precursor to NFP. We have ISM manufacturing, crude oil inventories. NFP on Friday is scheduled. They probably won't post it though, etc., etc. My gut says we topped and next week aggressive selling unless we get a reopening. Trump hasn't flapped his gums yet. Maybe he's going to spoil it. Yeah. $17.05 on the VIX and climbing. We have a billion inputs. A billion inputs. And increasing. NASDAQ and ES both continue to bounce and go even higher, 170. And it looks like NASDAQ is about to fly. Look at that. Let's see if we could take out 181 or so. What's ES doing? ES is not as bullish. RTY is going down. Dow is going down. NASDAQ just hammered that candle. Look at that. Oof. Hammered it. Back down. No bueno. That was disgusting. Disgusting. That was a high volume top wick right there. So, no bueno. NASDAQ does not like this 172 pivot. Yet. No additional trades for me. I'm kind of sitting pretty here. I want to coast off into Friday, into the weekend. Oop, another bottom wick. Oh man, they're about to launch this thing. Look at this. They're about to undo it again. What's ES doing? ES is bottom wicking. NASDAQ is still going. What are the top tech stocks doing? Microsoft is sliding. Apple's chilling. Amazon is sliding. AVGO is starting to launch. Meta is sliding lower. Google bounced. Tesla's up. Nvidia's down. VIX climbing even more, 1720 and going. VIX is still pumping. Yeah, man, this is weird. This is weird. A lot of puts remaining on the books here. NDX CCS is so dangerous. I was down about 4K before that slight move lower about 10 minutes ago. Whew. Man, you're playing credit spreads on NDX. You must have a sizable portfolio. I don't know what your account is, Mr. Sampson, but if it's not substantial, I would recommend not doing that. Is VIX pumping sending a signal? Well, whatever signal it is, the market ain't listening to it. I'm just dumb. Yeah, I would not do that. You know, seriously, I would not do that. Unless you're sitting on 7 figures, I would not be writing credit spreads on an NDX. That is a massive amount of notional. NASDAQ is pumping. Here we go. Pumping. The market is not listening to the signs of the VIX or put buying right now, so it's still going. ES, it's still doing its thing here, but NASDAQ is pumperoni, baby. If it absorbs this 183, we'll take out the highs. We'll take out the highs. What's gold doing? Gold's here. NASDAQ is about to put on a massive green candle if it takes out 183. U.S. is considering drug strikes, military strikes on Venezuela. Interesting. Interesting. It's going to go VIX pullback, going to pull back here. Maybe. Another small top wick on NASDAQ, but it's still holding nicely. Gold's starting to climb pretty hard. We have a 2,000 negative CVD. A little bit of a trend line on the S&P there. But we'll see. I don't know. I want something more substantial to get me back in. I don't want to speculate on a possible pop-up to the high of the day. I'll get back in if I see something nice. But right now, it's just, I'm sitting pretty. VIX measures 30-day volatility. Gamma is not that high in options that far out in time. VIX is going higher as investors hedging. That's correct. SNAP may not directly affect you, but over $8 billion missing from SNAP spenders in supermarkets. This will drive up grocery prices. Yeah. I mean, it'll have an impact for sure. Alrighty. Well, on ES we have, well, let's go take a look at ES. ES we have nothing higher except a 6,900, which is about 4 points higher. CVD for them is negative 5,000, but trimming. NASDAQ, we have nothing except 26,050, which is about 2,000 orders. But they're still pumping. They're still pumping. ES is about to break out. NASDAQ is about to go. Here we go. This may do it. This may do it right here. Blasteroni. Can they do it? Can they do it? You'll see a large green engulfing candle here in a second if they can take out this 180. There's still a tremendous amount of puts on the books, and they're not closing them. The VIX is still pumping. But the price action is absorbing into 183. They need a whole 183. Waiting for the gold. I'd love to get a good quality gold play, but another high volume rejection there. Can't keep this market down, man, no matter what. Bounce higher, bounce higher, bounce higher. Gold's been sus today. We'll get a move on it. AVGO top wick. Tesla is just blasting, man. 4% on Tesla. Crazy. NVIDIA is 205.7 and dropping. Interesting. Ooh, big red move on NVIDIA. What are they doing? What's NVIDIA going to do? Apple gave it all back? Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did. Hey, NVIDIA's getting crushed, y'all. Be careful. NVIDIA's getting crushed. Interesting. 205.40. Small little top wick across the board. NASDAQ just dropped a wee bit. 162. Give it a minute. Yeah. All right, NASDAQ came off a little bit nicely here. A little bit nicely. And bottom wick. There you go. What did Apple do? Apple, man, wow. That's insane. Of course, I can't say I'm surprised. I mean, you remember that time, I don't know when it was. Amazon gapped up like 11% and then ended up down 10%. It was a long time. It was a year ago? A couple months ago? NASDAQ with a decent little top wick off of that 180 zone. And we'll see if they can reclaim the 148 zone. We'll see. I'm not sure what to do with it, so I'm going to take the old lady out for lunch again. There you go. Have a good weekend, Agnostic. Look forward to next week with you. NVIDIA's still sliding, y'all. Interesting. Still sliding. Is NASDAQ going to go or what? Microsoft is sliding. Can it do it? Google's starting to slide a touch. Meta's chilling. Amazon's chilling. Apple sliding a touch. NVIDIA's sliding down. Nice little top wick on NASDAQ. What time is it? What time we got? It is 10:23, so we're 7 minutes away from close. And I'll wrap up with the stream. We have liquidity down to 26,050, but that is it. But of course, the market is holding up just fine. VIX is 1721 and climbing. We have 760 million of calls sold off from $1 billion. This week I bumped up my position to 2 micros, ended with my best trade ever. Start with small position size, get confident executing, and increase size. You told me that a few weeks ago, and so far it's been working amazingly well. Yep. That's the secret sauce, Zach. That is the secret sauce. Do exactly that. You step up exposure slowly but surely. Slowly but surely. As you get more confident in your trades. Uh-oh. NASDAQ still there, 158. $17.30 on the VIX and climbing. ES is chilling at 68.94. NASDAQ is chilling right here at 158. We're still inside this range. I would love to see, honestly, I would love to see a volatile close to the day, to the week, to the day. It would be nice. Of course, we need to get through this little support here to kind of have any kind of momentum to reclaim lower prices. But I want to see some volatility to close the week to set us up for next week. Like I don't like this grindy crap. If we do launch on gold, will there be plenty of time to get in? Just waiting for no confirmation. Yeah, you're right. I'm thinking of wrapping up as well. NASDAQ 3C did me good. Me too, JDM. I'm in no hurry to get back in a position. I'm solid. Small collar roll today. Maybe they'll give us some volume. Maybe. We just gave a little love tappy to this prior low. I have to learn that don't get back in mindset. Trust me, man, I enjoy not being invested. I enjoy it. So I also, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love taking a high quality setup. I love taking when my system starts to present itself and say, give me the signal to enter. I like it. It's great. But I like the feeling of not being invested when nothing is there, because it tells me I'm working, I'm doing things right, and I don't feel that stress. A little bit of red coming down. VIX is going 1724. Here comes the ramifications of the volatility maintaining with put positioning being on there. NVIDIA, we caught that downtrend beginning to form there at, what, 205, 206. And NASDAQ plummets. Yeah, plummets is a strong word. Plummets is a strong word. $26,145 and dropping on down. Locking it down, had a great week last week. Beat it with today's session. I feel like I'm finally rounding the corner with all my things you've been teaching. I can't thank you enough. Sincerely, you've changed my life, not only with the markets, but as a person. Nice, Kyle. I appreciate that, buddy. That's amazing comment. Thank you. Even more so than the markets, but as a person. Hey, Big Red, here it comes. Here it comes. Crazy, man. A little bit of green. Interesting. Can they hold this top wick? What are you going to do? Interesting. Little dumperoni. Is anyone playing Tesla next? Crazy move. Can you compare prop firms? I can. I can only compare two, though. I trade TopStep and TPT. I'm a big believer in both of them. I think they both have their upsides, they both have their downsides, but in my opinion, they're the two best prop firms out there. So, TopStep is well known for having, no hassle payouts. TPT as well. They won't hassle you or ask you anything. They'll pay you. You make the money, they'll pay you. No questions asked. TopStep has a consistency rule with their evals. They do not have a consistent, well, I guess they technically do, but you have to make 5 days of $150 to get paid out, which kind of sucks. But the upside is that you can make or lose as much as you want on those days, and you're fine, as long as you hit 5 days of 150 bucks. The downside for TopStep, the big downside for me, the worst of the all downsides, is that they limit you to $5,000 payouts every 5 days. So if you're killing it and making a bunch of money, you can't take that money out. They have to pull out the $5,000. In my opinion, they do that because they know the average trader eventually is going to blow up, and they'll avoid having to pay that money out because they cap you at $5,000. That's the only reason why they do that. To me, that's a sketchy business tactic, but every prop firm has a sketchy business tactic. TPT is extraordinary, in my opinion. They do have a trailing drawdown, which sucks. It sucks big time, but if you can be disciplined enough to get through that, and you build a buffer, they have daily payouts. There's no hassling on any rules or payouts, and there's no cap on how much money you could take out every day. So if you're a stud and you're making 20 grand a day, which obviously stud, then you could take that 20 grand out every day, as long as you're live, of course. Another top wick. They removed all that big dog liquidity to the south, and he continues to play games. So, a little bit of red coming off here, 127 and dropping. Beautiful. VIX is still rocketing. We're having almost 1 billion puts, and down we go. What can we do? Ooh, big old bottom wick. Look at that. Big old bottom wick. What time is it? There's London close, Euro close, whichever. Bottom wick, high volume. Palmetto State Armory has another 50 cal on sale. What are they asking for today? One of these days, my beautiful. One of these days. $10,000 right now. You can have a Barrett M17A flat dead earth 50 cal. That's what I'm talking about. High volume 1 minute. High volume bounce right there, baby. Yeah. Boom. Big old bottom wick on the old NASDAQ. Coming up to retest the 149150 pivot. Gold still flat. NASDAQ high volume bouncing at 150. Big move. Big move. Look at that. You never know when they might come in handy. Yeah. Rejection off the support resistance flip. Elon staying at Tesla. Was that a thing? Was that a question? Like, was he looking to leave? Big red. Ooh, look at that. 137, 20-point rejection off the SR flip. It'll be so much fun with tracer rounds. You know it, buddy. You know it. Beautiful, beautiful rejection. Off of that 150 area. $748 million. They're still selling calls here. We've got VIX is still going up, man. Still going up. All right, how about ready to call it a day? What you got for me? One good solid trade. Is gold finally moving? 1 sec. Let's go take a look at gold. Hey, look at that. Gold's breaking out. Beautiful. Yeah, look at that. Great. Coming into that prior pivot. I like it. Hopefully gold pays you. One good solid trade today, man. I was very, very happy with that trade. And usually for me, the better the trade, the less likely I am to get into another trade. Like I just, solid execution. There's no really need to get in unless I see something super high confident, which I didn't. Whatever. Until then, I'm good to go. He's throwing temper tantrums. Yeah. So other than that, man, fantastic week. If you have questions, please hit me up. Let me know. Hope you have a happy and safe Halloween with the family. Sunday night, of course, we'll be doing our weekly brief call with the Tier 2 peeps and going from there. Yeah, I got to send Phil some information. Good stuff. Rest of day prediction. I would not be surprised to see a big red close. So again, who knows, man? Who knows? I'll divert. I'll divert to Trader J. I mean, he's pretty good at that stuff, the prediction stuff. So I don't know. Right now, the data is not looking bullish. We have aggressive put buying. We have a tremendous amount of VIX pressure. We've got, of course, the SNAP benefits start tomorrow. The ending of the SNAP benefits start tomorrow, which a lot of people are looking for some civil unrest with that. I don't know if that'll bleed into the markets, but overall, man, we'll see. We'll see. Hope you have a good rest of the day. Hit me up with questions. I'm out.